Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Alok again back to the Business Storytelling Show, and today is gonna be amazing story which I'm gonna talk about. Reason you might have listened to my first episode where I was talking about how I got admission in my engineering college, how I got my room partner, how a room was allotted to me. Now today I'm going to tell you something which might scare you. So be here. This is episode number 2, and I'm going to talk about what happens when you join an engineering college and something which you might not have expected out of your even deepest thoughts or wildest dreams. So here I go. You might be aware that engineering colleges at that time, again, ragging is banned today also, and that time also it was banned. But seniors used to do something which was out of the box. So what happened next? When we had our dinner, we went to sleep. What after that? Let's go deep into the story of my first night in my college hostel with seniors, right? Okay, so let's go ahead. So as you might be aware, like we got a room and we did shift our goods. Everything was done, and obviously the formal things like snacks and dinner. So when we went to the dinner in our mess, there was a big display board, and there was something as a patch pinned on that display board. It was a pin board. We didn't care about it actually. The mess was literally or indirectly you can say told us to go and read that, but we literally ignored. I said, and we all thought of what's that. No, actually when we report tomorrow to the class, then only things are going to happen, right? And we know the scheduled timing of the college where we are supposed to report. So we ignored everything. We had our snacks, we had our dinner, and we went to our rooms for sleep. Yes, there were new people, so we were trying to meet with each other, trying to know where that person is from and all those things, like everybody does, right? But now is the scary thing. We all were sleeping, right? The doors were closed. We were in our normal night wears, right? All of a sudden, around maybe 1 in the night, 1 a.m., I'm talking about 1 a.m. in the night, approximately, we heard like a stampede. We heard like some earthquake has come. We heard like something has blasted or something. There were a lot of noises coming, da 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 da, and we were like, what happened? Even our door was hit with something big. I don't know what was it. Initially we were not aware what is happening, right? People were literally banging the doors, shouting. We were like, what happened? This is our first night in the hostel, and is there something wrong? We were not aware. But yes, out of curiosity, if somebody is banging on your doors, shouting, definitely you will be fearing and will be opening the door. The moment the door was opened, three people entered our rooms and they started slapping us left, right, and center with a guidelines like look at the third button. Look at the third button. See, if this is the first button, here is the second, and one below would be the third button. And like, didn't you see the notice? Did you see the notice board? Are you not aware what we told you to do? We were like, we were not aware what is happening with it. So finally, we could make out that these were our immediate seniors in our college. They were sitting second year guys. And this was a part of a ragging where we started getting slaps left, right, and center, right? And when somebody used to defend, like I was one of those guys who used to speak. So what happens? I said, sir, we were not aware what to do. So the moment I said, there was a bucket full of water, somebody put me from my neck and my head was inside the water. I was like I was about to drown or something. But yes, it was not that pathetic. Yes, it was very uncomfortable. And these three people, again, these three people were not constantly in the room. There was somebody coming and going, but the number used to be three. And we were looking at the third button. We could not see who that guy is. The lights were on. We could see only the foot, maybe the shoes, the slippers, the trousers and pants, whatever it is, right? And we could not see anything else, only for the voice. So we used to just now we were following whatever was said. Isn't it interesting, guys? Are you feeling? Have you been into this kind of a professional college where you have been ragged like this, or this was a formal, introduction. I don't know exactly, but yes, this is what has happened to me, and I'll tell you the advantages and disadvantages of this as well. Right? So what happened? Now everybody was talking the same language. Every senior was talking the same language. Like, we have displayed, we have mentioned something on the notice board. You have to be in formals even if you are going to sleep. You have to wear your formal dress, right? Formal trousers, full sleeve shirts. Your oil should be combed, right? And you should be even wearing your shoes while sleeping, because we can come anytime, and we you have to be in the formals, right? These were the instructions, right? Then you have to see the third button. You don't need to ask our names. And there were so many instructions given on, the same day, the very first night. And we were like, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, right? And we were accepting everything. Now this continued for around, say, we were not allowed to go in the corridors. We were inside our rooms, right? So me and my friend, we both were. It was a two-bedded room, and me and my friend both were like, both seeing at the third button, obeying and saying just yes sir. We didn't had anything to say except for yes sir. So anybody who is listening and can relate to, they can even chat with me. The chat is open, and I would look forward to your similarity. If you have somebody like this who has gone through this kind of a scenario in their life, in their educational life, we can have a talk, and definitely it's going to be fun, right? So what happened next? We were like, again, there were a few people, again, as I said, few people were coming and going, and anybody who was entering the room, the first thing was to slap us, right? And we were like, what the mistake we have done? Have we done any mistake by joining this college, or competing and clearing an entrance examination and coming taking admission in this college? What's wrong? Why are they slapping us? We were not aware. Yes, we definitely had a hint that there would be some kind of a ragging, but ragging to this extent, I'm sure it should not be, right? Yes. So now this episode, continued for around 1 hour. We had a big corridor, both the sides we had rooms, and the seniors, I don't know how much at that time, we didn't know how many people are there from the senior team, but I literally can feel that every room was going through the similar scenario. Every room people were getting slapped or whatever you say, but obviously not kicked, mind it. Yes, and we were told about, we were now, the first half of this 1 hour was, talking about the rules and other things. The second half was about knowing about you. Thank you, Ananji, for being with me. The second half started with the introduction. Now you tell me. The seniors now literally first instantly they put a fear in our minds, and then second thing was, now they wanted to know us. So what's your name? That these were the questions. What's your name? What rank you had? Where did you pass from? What's your native place? And all those things. Now the same thing again. As I said, every senior who used to come used to ask the similar questions. What's your name? What's your rank? What's your native place? And blah 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 blah. So all these things were again repeated again and again. So this another episode carried for another half an hour, and we could not know who that person is. We could not know what is the intent. We could not know what's the name of the person, and we were actually unaware except for the fact that these are our seniors, and these are the rituals of getting into an engineering college, being ragged, although ragging was banned, right? So this is what the first thing happened. Now, with again, after this 1.5 hours, similar instructions were given to us to follow right from early morning to going to the bed, and even after going to the bed. So the list of things were given to us as a part of the Xerox, saying that these are the things which you should be doing. That was already there on the mess notice board, but we ignored, and that is why these things happened with us. But anyway, we understood and we found that okay, these are the things which you need to follow as a first year student. And now, with severe instructions and all those threats in our heads, people were like, people flew away in 2 minutes. We could not even know, because the main gate was locked, the roof was locked. I don't know how they came inside the building, right? It was a multi-story, it was a 3-story building. I don't know what way they had come to our rooms, and they started doing all this stuff. Now, after they went, it was complete silence because nobody was daring to even speak anything. For some moment, let's say for 5 7 minutes, everybody was quiet in their rooms. When we found that now there is no movement from our seniors, we assumed that okay, they might have left, and that was a fact. They had left earlier, right? And then slowly we started to move and see what happened to others. So we all were now in the corridor, and seeing each other, asking what happened to you, what happened to you, and that was the first time when you know we found everybody to be the same. Everybody was similarly treated, right? Everybody was slapped. Nobody could say that okay, I was not slapped, or I was relieved because of something or the other. But yes, we found everybody on the same plane, right? So what happens is when you find people like you have similarity. You are making a similar bond with the people because you are also going through the same situation, similar to what the other person is going through. So what happens in this case? People have synergy and more bonding is made. Correct. So this is what happened with us. Now inside the corridor, everybody was like roaming here and there and asking. Few people were already known to us because we had snacks, lunch and dinner together. Few people were late, so we could not know them. Now everybody was in the corridor and we were trying to know each other's name and the branches, which branch you have opted for, and so on and so forth. Correct. So there was an I would say a kind of introduction amongst ourselves because of this incident. And yes, we had to follow the rules. There was no option to it. Now there was one guy in our batch, right? He was a rebel, I would say. He was like, no, 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 we are not going to follow this. What is this fun? We are going to be slapped every day and night. This is not done. I'm not going to do that, right? So he started doing it, but nobody supported him because we knew somewhere in our hearts, because my father was an engineer and I had listened lots of stories like this. When you get into an engineering college, ragging was banned because of some unethical things being done. But previously, this was a type of introduction and making familiar with you and the systems inside the college. So I was like, okay, if you are there, are you going to bell the cat? Are you going to say that you are the first person going to oppose the seniors if they come maybe the next night? Or no, I don't know if they're going to meet us inside the college campus as well. He didn't have any answer. So definitely he was kind of a rebel, but not so tough on his own decision that he could lead a team of people who was there to contradict or disobey the seniors. Right? This is what happened. So finally we decided that okay, we are going to follow whatever the seniors has said, right? So now everybody was literally mugging the list, what we need to do, what we need not. Correct. So there were lots of as I said, you know being dressed, you don't have to use the college bus, you don't have to move in the corridors, you just have to go inside the classroom and sit. Nobody should be seen outside the classroom, and you have to go straight, come straight by looking at your third button and all those stuff. There were a list of around 20 rules, 20 rules to be followed by the juniors, by us, so that the decorum or the principles or whatever you name it, the tradition of the college keeps on going, right? So this was my experience of my first night. Now I would like to ask you, if this kind of situation is there, how do you react to it when nothing is in your control, and you are fresh, you are new, you don't know anything about the system, you don't know, and you don't have any much authority as well. So what we did was we accepted actually what is whatever was going with us. So in this scenario, what I learned, so I'm telling you that this the purpose of this business storytelling is to give you one particular message out of one story. So I'm not going to conclude it. I want you to conclude out of this story where nothing is in your control and you are getting thrashed and enjoying as well. Initially it was like very uh, bad feeling, but yes, later on we started enjoying when we understood that this is a part of the ragging, and people are the seniors are making us familiar by slapping or whatever way they are using, right? So what would you be doing in this scenario, and what would be your outcome out of this particular story, episode number 2, where I shared about the first night in my college hostel where seniors were there without any invitation, and they were doing everything which they wanted, right? So thank you so much, whoever is watching me live. Thank you, Anandji, for watching me live, and I see a few more people watching me live. So put everything in the comments, whatever you have learned out of this story. As I said, this is all my life stories which I'm going to share every week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. IST, and you'll be having fun. You can relate to your own life or situations which might be there in your life in some form or the other. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward for the next episode on coming Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to your comments as well. So I hope you enjoyed this story. Give your comments, give your learnings, so that others can also benefit from it. Thank you so much. Bye bye.